Hey guys, welcome back to another episode by BW2, and yeah, we're already back with another Terraria video. On the last one I was saying I didn't know if we were going to make another one ever. That might have been the last Terraria video, but I figured I found some more content that I could do in, yeah, because I do still want to keep on doing Terraria videos. Again, I do still love the game. It's just it's not getting updates anymore. But we are back with another Terraria video. Today we are finally going over all the classes because now that the final update is out, pretty much the classes, as good as they can get, cannot get any better. So pretty much I'm going to just go over the 4 classes of Terraria, which if you guys don't know is melee slash warrior, whatever you want to call it, mage, which is pretty much the wizard, magic wizard, ranger, which is basically the Gunslinger, and then Summoner, which is, of course, you fight with your minions and whatnot. So just saying real quick, I'm not going to, like, go through every single thing and talk about every single thing. I am just going to quickly show my loadouts, which, other than the weapons and accessories and armor, are identical, like all the things that I have in my inventory and everything, as you will see. Yeah, of course, they all have their own set of weapons and everything. And yeah, if you need to see something in specific, such as modifiers, defense, what item it is or whatever, of course, just pause your video and whatnot, and yeah, you can just get a look at it however long you need. Yeah, I do have the best modifiers on each weapon that they can get, as you will notice. So again, these are pretty much, in my opinion, as good as you can get each class. So basically I'm just going to use each class going through the Pumpkin Moon, just because it's not super hard, not super easy, and it's just like a nice wave thing. It's not a single boss that we just kill and get done. I feel like it's the easiest and most efficient way to really show off the class's abilities and whatnot. Yeah, and of course you guys know, in the 6, almost 7 years that we've been playing Terraria, I've always mained melee. Of course, back in the early days, I always said, like, oh, I'm just gonna use my, my BW2 class, or my Brennan World class, or whatever, where I just use, like, anything. But, once you get into hard mode in Terraria, that don't work too good, because if you don't have the right modifiers and, armor and accessories working together, you're not going to get far. You pretty much, once you get to hard mode, you have to decide on a class. So pretty much ever since then, I've been a melee, and yeah, as you will see in this video, that is why in the title, I say melee is the best. It's just, it has the most survivability, you kill things the quickest, and yeah, there are other classes, like I think mage might be the most fun and most pretty to look at. But it's just melee, like, it's hard to die and you just shred through everything. So now getting into the gameplay. So you can see this is my melee loadout right here as we go through the weapons. And I always carry the summon with them just because they're not summoners, but it's always nice just to have a summoner just to help you out, a summoner weapon, which of course I use the Rainbow Crystal Staff and the Terra Prisma. And then the armor and accessories, as you will see here. And that is why when I'm using my weapons and whatever else, it might be exploding or have fire on it or whatever, affliction, going along with it. And yeah, you can see I have 102 defense, and then my accessories to make it look how I look, because each of my classes has its own little custom look. And yeah, just with all the accessories and dyes and all the different slots you can have in Terraria nowadays, it's just insane. You can make your characters look so cool. And yeah, there's just so much customizability or whatever. Yeah, that is that. So now getting into the fighting, as you can see, I also on each class will go through and use each weapon. Not necessarily an even amount, as you will notice. I end up using pretty much my main weapon for each class the most, of course, because it's the best weapon for each class in my opinion. Which, of course, for this, you guys know, it's like how the Pulsar 9000 and Fortnite Save the World, it's just like I use it all the time, my favorite weapon easily in Terraria for a while now. It has been the Zenith, and like I said before, no matter what class you're using, the Zenith holds up. But yeah, of course melee, it holds up even more. Yeah. You'll notice me using that a bit, and usually I don't use vampire knives because I'm all good, but the reason I'm using them here is because I'm trying to show off my other weapons, which don't kill things as fast, so I lose a little bit more health. So vampire knives give you back some health, and that's why you'll see me using them here, just so I can get some gameplay with all my weapons, because if I'm going to have all the weapons in my inventory, you gotta use them. You gotta give everyone some playtime. So, yeah. But yeah, the Zenith just looks so cool. You're throwing like every single, of course, it takes forever to make. I mean, you gotta make it out of like all of the swords and like just all of the half the swords in the game, I swear. Like, you guys saw the little display in our NPC apartment or wherever. It's one of the most, and if not the most insane crafting recipe in the game. But yeah, you can see you're just, if you slow it down, you're actually just like throwing every part of the sword in the game or whatever. And yeah, it's just so cool how you just throw all the swords. It's just like a boomerang, but yeah, I could talk about that all day. But yeah, you can just see absolutely shredding through everything. I'm taking on multiple pumpkins at a time. As you can see, I just shredded like 6 right there. And yeah, and I'm barely getting hurt. Sometimes I'll drop down a little bit, and if you guys notice me drop down onto the floor every once in a while, it's because I'm dropping down to pick up some hearts, and that's why I healed up. But that, as you can see, I just soloed the pumpkin moon by myself easily, no problem, as a melee. So yeah, that's a melee class. So now moving on to the mage class. So yeah, so this is the main little loadout that I use for that, and one other, like, kind of, most of the, as I said, most of the accessories are the same, but one different thing I'll use on this one is the little snake charmer flute, just because I think it kind of matches the wizard theme, and yeah, it just summons little snakes that grow into the air, and you can climb them like rope. Don't really ever use it, but it's a cool thing to have as a wizard. So yeah, so then, again, my armor and accessories and whatnot. And yeah, you'll notice I do use the starboard for every one of them as well, just because the only one that I use that you can actually see it on is my melee, but I do use it for everyone. But yeah, I absolutely love it, and I believe it has the longest flight time, if not up there. I'm pretty sure it's the longest, but yeah, you can see 60 defense, not near as much, but we do have a bit more percentage of damage, because on the last one it was like mainly just warding. This one has some menacing text in there, which adds some more percentage of damage. But yeah, so yeah, you can just see mage. You got the little flames flying everywhere, which a little while ago I had no idea what those were, and I was just like, these things everywhere. But if you run into them, they actually give you some more mana, and every time I get hurt, you'll notice stars falling, and mana stars, so I get more mana every time I get hurt, as well as every time I run out of mana. One of my accessories makes me automatically drink potions. And as you can see, this Nebula Arcanum, they bundle up and track, and you can see the pumpkin right there. He just kind of drifted through it, and he just shreds them. So yeah, sometimes when you get him bundled up and then something to fly through it, the Nebula Arcanum can be pretty fun. But yeah, and of course the last prism, pretty much the zenith of the mage class, just super OP. You can see it's just like, right here, it's just like a plasma beam lawnmower. Yeah, the only thing about the mage is some of the weapons are probably the hardest to learn and use weapons in the game, like you're pretty much not going to be good at using the lunar flare, which I'm using right now. The lunar flare and the blast prism, you're probably not going to be too good using right off the bat, because it does take some getting used to, like tracking the mouse onto where you're trying to aim and whatnot. But yeah, as you can see, once you get to know how to use it, it does actually shred quite a bit, and as I said, it all looks super cool, and you get some glowing orbs around your character, which looks nice, and yeah, there we go. Pumpkin Moon completed as a mage. So next up is Ranger. So yeah, after melee and mage, these last two classes, Ranger and Summoner, I don't usually use. Summoner I do like using when I'm just running around because it's like super OP and works very well. But when you're fighting against like super hard bosses and wave things, it doesn't hold up too much, and once you die, it is very hard to pick back up, as you will see soon. But yeah, just these classes, it's kind of like a more slow burn. I had to cut down to less footage because for the first half of the Pumpkin Moon, it's basically like just standing there waiting for your summons to do something, or kind of just shooting your bow and arrow or whatever, with either direction. So yeah, so they're just kind of slower classes, and you kind of just sit and let other things do the work. And yeah, and these are the that's the ammunition that I use for my bow, rocket, weapons, and guns, which are pretty much like the best ammunition for each thing in the game: rocket 3s, venom arrows, and melee bullets. So yeah, so once again, some of these weapons are pretty darn pretty looking, but you can just see how quickly I'm dying with this loadout. And yeah, sniper rifle is actually a pretty good weapon when you get hits, but I pretty much just have it for the memes. It is a good weapon, but of course, against certain enemies. But the other thing about Ranger is, as you can see, the SDMG is really good, but some things are kind of hard to use while still being able to survive. But when you're using like guns and whatnot, and yeah, sniper scope things, you can actually zoom in, which you'll see some gameplay of here soon. You'll see that if I hold down right click and keep on shooting with left click, I can actually zoom in on my screen, which actually comes in handy because you will see me flying around pumping, and I can zoom in, and he can't reach far enough to actually hit me, but I can zoom in and see him way off my screen, so I can keep on shooting him while he can't even reach me. So yeah, so the zoom ability that Rangers have is pretty darn nice, but it's pretty hard to learn and get used to. And you can only use it with certain gun weapons. But yeah, as you can see here now, I am kind of zooming around my screen, and Pumpkin, he is stretching as far as he can, but he just cannot reach me, but I can see him way over there, and you can see I'm lasering him from way off my screen. But yeah, so normally with any other class, I would not be able to see him way over there. But yeah, it's all fun and all, but it is a Ranger, and just it is pretty hard to survive. As you can see, I'm on wave 14. Wave 15 is the last wave, but wave 15 just goes forever. Eventually do it, but yeah. As you can see, I am at the beginning of wave 15, and I get slain. So yeah, didn't really end up making it through there. As you can see, it's just turning morning, but yeah. So moving on to Summoner, right here, the last of the 4 classes. So yeah, so I didn't really know what else to use for this class, so that's why I just have like the little shadow jousting lance and the other weapon next to it, I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, so I kind of just mixed this because like Summoner, like I said, you can run around and use it perfectly fine, but if you're fighting like a boss or a wave thing, like your summons cannot hold up for that long, and eventually you're gonna need some other weapon to fend yourself off with the help of your summons. So yeah, so you can see it is easily the most cool looking class. As you can see, it looks like I literally have rainbow sword wings with all my Terra Prisma swords. I can, without any potions, I can spawn 9 Terra Prismas, which is pretty good. And then you can see for the full armor set, you get the little guardian thing that kind of swivels his hands or whatever he does. As you can see, my guardian going around, he also acts as a kind of defending minion, as you can see there. Not sure what it looks like he has like scissor hands. Yeah, and then my dragon, which does look like the dragon summon, I can't know what it's called, but you can summon a dragon and make it longer with the more summons you have. But that's not what it is, that's actually a pet, because then I won't be able to have my Terra Prismas. And I used to use the dragon for my summoner class, but ever since I started I use that. So yeah, so the nice thing about whips is I actually like tag enemies and make it so summons actually do like more damage to it. So you can see jousting lance, trying to use that. You can't actually move it, you can only hold it in place and then just literally joust, run into things to do damage. But yeah, you can see I got killed off pretty quick. like I was talking about earlier, once you die, not only as a summon, but most classes, once you die, it's pretty hard to get back up on your feet, and you get killed over and over again. So yeah, you can see I do use the yo-yo gloves, so I can spawn up to 2 yo-yos here, just because I, again, didn't really know what else to put in there. Yeah. And you can see I'm even having to resort back to the Zenith here, because it's just a hard drop down to get some hearts to save myself. But that doesn't save me, I ended up dying. And then they ended up coming to my spawn point and being little noobs in spawn camp killing me. So yeah, this was a fun night. I just wanted it to end, not gonna lie. But yeah, so what I was talking about with whips is every time you whip stuff, it attacks it, and your minions will do more damage to that thing, and they can do a bit of damage. The only thing is I have accessories on my melee class, so I can just hold it down and just spam whip. But on my summoner I don't have that, so I can only do it one at a time. You can see the little wyvern coming down, trying to join the fight. Gets killed instantly, and you can just see here I get killed over and over again. Right here, I was starting to rage a bit, but eventually it ended. So yeah, last 2 classes, as you would have saw, I didn't even get to complete the full thing because I just kept on dying. But yeah, that is all 4 classes. So as you would have seen, ranked, probably melee of course first, and then mage, and then probably summoner, and then ranger. Because I would say ranger, there's a little bit more survivability to it, but it's just like summoner is just in terms of like just cool looking and like fun to play. I would probably actually rank it like melee, and then summoner, and then mage, and then ranger. But it's just ranger is just probably my least favorite class, just because I mean you kind of just sit back and shoot guns. The armor literally, like the Shroomite armor turns you invisible, and like one of the other accessories, it makes it so enemies are less likely to target you. So you pretty much just sit there and shoot guns while the enemies hopefully target your teammates instead. So yeah, not a huge fan of that. But overall, I like all of them. I have been playing as different classes more often lately, not just melee. But melee has and always will be my favorite in main loadout. But yeah, that is all my main loadouts. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I've been wanting to make a video on all the Terraria loadouts and what I use and everything for a while, and I figured now is the perfect time, now that there's pretty much, this is as good as it's gonna get. So yeah, so make sure to leave any comments of any suggestions for any future Terraria videos that you might want. Yeah, so definitely still gonna keep Terraria on the channel. Probably not super often videos, of course, but hopefully not. You guys know we uploaded a lot back in 2014, and then we got like hacked or whatever, Xbox 360 like killed the hard drives, and then we didn't make another video until 2015, and then it happened again, and then we didn't make another video until 2019, and then we just made 1 video that year, and then made another video in 2020, and then now here we are making a few videos here in 2020. So yeah, kind of getting back into the Terraria videos. So if you guys all enjoy and enjoyed this video, so make sure to subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.